Buenas tardes, amigas y amigos fanáticos del deporte en Puerto Rico, donde quiera que esté, ya sea en la Isla del Encanto o alrededor del orbe. Gaby Acevedo, quien les habla desde la ciudad de Nueva York, y hoy estamos en Conexión Pur con una de las que más nos ha levantado la expectativa, la pasión y la energía de camino a los Juegos Olímpicos Tokio 2021. Ya ella es olímpica y tiene experiencia, así que no habrá ese frío olímpico que había bautizado el gran Manuel Rivera Morales. Aquí con nosotros, Jasmine Camacho-Quinn. Jasmine, good afternoon first off, good evening for those of you who are in a different time zone. I am in New York City. Where are you joining us from?
I am joining from Orlando, Florida.
And I guess my first question, and I ask you off the air, lo que voy a hacer con ustedes, compañeros, es que poco a poco I'll be translating, traduciendo poco a poco con Jasmine, but I ask you out of camera, what's in Orlando? What are you doing there? What's up?
I'm actually training out here with my hurdle coach, John Coughlin, and Gary Evans. It's a good environment here, honestly, and it's working for me.
When you say it's a good environment, it's a place where you can have your bubble, you can have your routine, you can have your focus entirely, obviously, on making your body be as strong as possible. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it's the group I'm in, and honestly, it's Florida and it's Orlando at that, so there's like things to do that keeps me balanced.
That's very well. Aquí, amigos, estamos hablando un poco con Jasmine. Ella está en Orlando, Florida, donde muchos puertorriqueños también residen y sirve como su base de entrenamiento. Ahí es que Jasmine Camacho está preparando su asalto al Monte Olimpo, a los Juegos Olímpicos de Tokyo. We're telling our folks here, Jasmine, that this is your headquarters where you're preparing what I would say, and I call your assault on the Olympic Games this time. And I go into that straight up, Jasmine, because I told you off camera when we say hi, last time I saw you, and I was watching the interview on YouTube, it was after Rio, after you were done with your competition. And it was a very sincere, very nice, sweet interview with your family too. Your mom was amazing, what she expressed. But I want to take us back in a time machine to that moment. And my first question would be, how much or what has changed in Jasmine Camacho-Quinn since I spoke to you, and that was 48 hours after your participation in the Olympic Games?
I mean, since then, I've just grown.
How old were you? Let me ask you. Back then, let us remember.
I was 19.
There you go. You were just off your sophomore year in college, or going into your sophomore year.
Going into my sophomore. And I mean, now that I'm 24, I mean, I've just grown all around, as a person, as an athlete. Now that I am professional, you know, I understand a lot more than back then when I was a freshman in college. Yeah, it's just, I understand, and I'm able to prepare myself better, I feel like, for this upcoming Olympics.
What would you tell that Jasmine the day before the semifinal or the final? What would you tell her now, that 19-year-old Jasmine, now with this experience you have looking forward? By the way, I asked you, and I want to get in between for you to have an answer to you guys. I understand where I'm coming from. It's because my first thought when I met you is this is a natural pro. She's not a pro yet, but she puts her standard at the professional level. She gets that challenge on herself, that self-determination doesn't come from anyone. It seems that you have it naturally. And obviously, athletes need to harness that, because if it's too much, it becomes pressure instead of tension. And my first thought is Jasmine is going to win someday because she wants it, but maybe she needs to, you know, take it easy and enjoy it. Is that maybe what I'm getting at?
Yeah, well, you know, like 2016, it was, I mean, everything just happened so quick, honestly. I didn't even understand like the whole process of Olympics. Like I didn't understand nothing. I was just told something by my coach, and I was like, okay,
I'll go run.
Yeah. And so like, you know, regardless of like the situation that happened, like I'm able to like look back and I'm able to like grow from that. It's not something I really like dwell on anymore.
That is very fair.
It's years later, and I mean, I'm still young, and I still have opportunities. So yeah, I'm not really like dwelling on it too much. Like I have my eyes set on something this year and I'm working towards that.
If it helps you in any case, Jasmine, everyone, well, not everyone, but generally the people who I see on social media, when they speak about your Puerto Rican fans, they always remember that race and they say, oh, she was going to be a winner. And now they feel that feel re-energized that you're back and they say, this is our hope. Do you feel that connection with the Puerto Rican families at this point after these years? Because they really look at you like you're part of them and that you belong to a structure now that is a Puerto Rican athletics competition. But do you feel connected to them now? Do you read them? Do you see how they react to you?
Yes. I've always felt like that, but I just know like over the years, because I haven't really competed at a major championship since after Olympics. And so, you know, as time goes on, things change. And now that it's like, okay, like I'm on track, you know, I'm doing this to make sure I'm good both mentally and physically. It's like it's all coming together again in a sense. It feels like 2016 all over.
Yeah, that's good. The feeling, that's natural. That's great.
Yeah. So you know, I know like years before I was dealing with a lot of things. College, I can say like I didn't really have to compete after my collegiate season. Like I didn't have to. And you know, 27. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
Continue.
somebody called me. Yeah, so 2017, I didn't go to Worlds. I wanted off. Like I was like, no, I'm not. I already like struggled that whole collegiate season. And I was like, I just want to rest. Like I'm not about to be I cannot play superhero for nobody right now. And I'm not even like mentally good right now. So I took 2017 off. I was like, I don't care. That's that. After my collegiate season, I was done. I was like, I need a break. 2018 actually had plans. Like I was like, okay, let's do this, get all this done. And I ended up straining my hamstring towards the end of my collegiate season. And I still finished the season out. And then, you know, it was a whole situation with my coach leaving Kentucky and taking a job somewhere else. And I was basically coachless. Like I didn't have a coach after nationals. So
was that scary?
It was scary because I think 2018 was it CACs? I believe it was.
Yeah, Barranquilla, Colombia, yeah. The Central American Caribbean Games.
Yeah, it was CACs, and I didn't have a coach, so it was like, okay, I'm not going because I don't have a coach. Like I was supposed to go overseas and compete as well, but I couldn't do that because I was without a coach. Right, like after nationals, that was it. So it's like, how can I go compete 2 months later if I don't even have a coach? Like, what am I supposed to do? And I kind of stayed quiet about it. And although like I was dealing with my injury, I was still in a situation where it was like, okay, my coach just left Kentucky and I don't know what to do. And yeah, that was just a whole like big problem in itself right there. And I was like, well, I'm not going. I felt bad, of course, but it was just like, I don't have a coach. So what do you want me to do? Like, I'm here by myself.
You would never go to a competition without feeling that you were prepared for that competition.
Yeah, like I was like, there's no way I can come back 8 weeks later or whenever it was. I think it was August. That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but you're right. It was July, August of 2018. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no, you know, like it was just like, no, can't do that. And trying to figure out things with school, you know, and it was a lot that happened that I really didn't speak about. And I was just like, you know what, I'm going to just say, which I was injured, but I left it at just that. I left it at just, it's the injury. And I didn't even say anything about what else was going on.
But you dealt with it your own way. You
Yeah.
found a way to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. I dealt with it, and I was just like, you know what? This was a great year, because that year I did go 1240. And, you know, I was like, okay, I can't even compete at meets that I was already entered in, but whatever. That was after college and, well, my collegiate season. And I just tried to figure out things from there. I finished school that December of 18. And
what's your major?
it was community and leadership development. I didn't really like do too much with the school stuff. But it was mainly, I wasn't about to stress myself out in school when I already had a feeling. I was like, no, track is gonna go good. I'm gonna make it go good. Like, that's
you were sure.
Yeah, I was like, this is how this is going to go. And you know, I did want to do something else, but I just didn't want to put that much stress on myself, because I know, like, when I'm tired, I'm tired. I don't care. I'm not studying. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing no homework, no nothing. Like, I'm tired. And college is already, like, that whole process is tiring. So I already knew doing something hard. It's not, you know, it's not impossible, but I just know myself, like, I wasn't doing that.
Which I have understood through this conversation, that you're very honest with yourself.
Yeah. So I just did community and leadership development, and which is still something, you know, like,
Well, we need a lot of that in Puerto Rico. I can tell you that. We need leadership in the community. But let me give the folks here a little summary before you gather your thoughts. Básicamente, Jasmine nos está contando primeramente su experiencia posterior a Río de Janeiro. Recordamos todo lo que fue su final, gran momento para ella con 19 años de edad. Luego, obviamente, lo que sucede en esa final, cuando tropieza con la valla, dice que no se quedó pensando en eso, pero que tuvo un proceso el año siguiente, 2017, entre lesiones, y ella ser honesta consigo misma de que su mente y su corazón no estaban en el lugar indicado. También pasó por un proceso de perder a su entrenador en la Universidad de Kentucky, y eso obviamente la puso en un lugar donde no se encontraba ni física ni emocionalmente para entrar a una competencia que luego vinieron siendo los Juegos Centroamericanos de Barranquilla 2018. Decidió no participar, se perdió del radar, pero estaba buscándose a sí misma. What I'm telling people here is that through your narration and explanation of what happened after Rio, you were basically finding yourself too. You are admitted that you were 19 years old going to an Olympic final. It was a great achievement, but you also were working on stuff on your personal level that is going to help you achieve that next step. Is that what we're getting at?
Yes. That's the whole process. You know, 19, like, you think you know everything. You don't know much. And like, it definitely was. It wasn't even just a physical battle. Like, it was a lot of mental things going on, and I fought like a lot of silent battles by myself, and I felt like I had to keep explaining myself. But I got to the point where I was like, I don't owe nobody an explanation.
Boom.
I need to take care of myself. If I don't take care of myself, there's no me. If I don't handle myself and do what I have to do. So I finally did get to that point where I was like, not explaining nothing to nobody. I don't even care.
I was going to ask you, what advice would you give people who are going through something similar? I don't expect you to be a medical attendant, but I do see in your answer, take care of yourself first. That is the advice. Whatever it is, don't listen to the noise. It's you first. Is that what happened?
Yeah. You definitely have to take care of yourself, because you are always doing things just to try to, like, please others. And, you know, it's just, you're not going to get anywhere. You feel like you're just selling yourself short. And me, I'm already like an honest person. And like, I spoke out about it. I spoke out about depression. I spoke out about a lot of things before. And just with, you know, even like with Rio and that situation, it was like, it was like, it didn't even stop after that. It was more so like, I'm dealing with this. I have to go to school. I still have to compete collegiately. It was just so much. And I was like, done. I was like, I'm I don't even want to do this anymore. And I still kept fighting. Like I went and tried to get help in college, and it I had to like meet with this one therapist in college, and she's like, let me take this and this and this, and try to prescribe medicine. I was like, I'm not taking nothing. Like I'm not about to take nothing to alter my state. I don't care. Like whatever it is, I will deal with it. Not taking no medicine. So I'm not playing like that. Like that's the type of person I am though. I'm not about to do something or take any type of medicine to alter anything that I have going on just to say this, oh, this is going to make this better, whatever. No.
Or go away.
Yeah. Like I was like, no, whatever it is, I'm gonna handle that thing face to face. We're going to get through this. And you know where I'm at now, like I handled that face to face and I kept it pushing. And
Beautiful.
It, you know, 2019 was terrible as well. But that was just so me just graduated. I had to pack up all my stuff from Kentucky, moved to Texas, and 4 years away from like my family, you know, that's already hard. But then going to Texas by myself again, I'm hardly around my family. I was really depressed, just trying to figure out like this professional life. And I was like, nah.
When did that turn around?
I feel like once I ended season in 2019, because I ended it in July.
Okay.
And I got to go home and be with my family. And I just sat there and I just thought about a lot. And I was back and forth between decisions because, you know, I didn't want to, there's always that what if, you know, and I was like, all right, if I leave here, what if this doesn't go good for me? And, but I was just like, I need to follow my heart, because if I don't, then I'm going to be in the same situation. So I ended up leaving, and, you know, my parents, they were behind my decision. Like, you know, like they supported me through everything and were there for me through that time. And I relocated to Orlando. And
very good. Is that where you spent the pandemic, Jasmine, in Orlando this whole year?
Yep.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about that later, but let me just summarize real quick. Lo más importante de lo que dice Jasmine es que se preocupó por ella misma primero. Jasmine, primero que todo lo demás, que nunca aceptó que iba a ser una persona que iba a ser medicada de alguna manera. No es que ella piense que eso está mal, es que ella no quería manejarlo así, quería buscar la manera de salir adelante. Y hubo un proceso también a nivel universitario de graduarse de su grado universitario, cumplió su bachillerato y luego decidir si realmente el atletismo era lo que iba a ganar su vida, si iba a continuar con su carrera profesional como atleta. Y llegamos a este punto donde de universidad a Texas, ahora a Florida. To close that part of your life, Jasmine, and I really appreciate your honesty. I know that this means a lot to people who probably listen to you and say, but you know, if she can have problems, I can have problems too, which is the first step in a human being, admitting that you can have a problem. But I have to ask you, was Kentucky in some way either a happy experience away from athletics or school, or was it more of a rite of passage experience for you to learn, to grow to what you are now, to this point? What was Kentucky then?
I mean, that's college. It was cold there, I can say that. So that definitely played a part in depression. Like it being cold in the snow, I was like, this is way different than I'm used to. I didn't grow up like this. So I mean, I'm not gonna say like the whole experience was bad. It was a learning experience for me, and I was 8 hours away from home by myself, and I was there like it's a job basically, you know, like I'm not here
to enjoy it.
Yeah, you know, like I can enjoy as much as I can, but it's really hard because
you had a scholarship.
Yeah. So it's like I'm here. Yeah, I'm on a full scholarship, but I gotta do what I have to do to, to make sure I'm staying on my full scholarship. That's a job itself. Like, it's not just free. That's the thing. Like a lot of, and that's actually a big thing I be seeing on social media is like, we get full rides and all this, and I'm like, it's not really like a free scholarship. Honestly, like we have to work for that. That's not free, and we're tired all the time. And I know, like, athletes probably labeled as bad attitudes and stuff. But I'm like, we're tired. We're up. We're up 5 o'clock in the morning until late at night. Like
usually with someone yelling at you to get that time done.
Yeah, like it's tiring, and it isn't free. It molded me into the person I am today.
Wow,
I grew so much in college, and yeah.
It's a big sports program too, right, Jasmine? When you mentioned the professionalism, Kentucky obviously is a big athletic department with a lot of challenges, and they want to be the best. So you were part of that. I mean, did you feel that's that sense of like, here we're at a big place where we need to win?
Yeah, because I mean, when you think of Kentucky, like you think of basketball, and honestly, like when I first got my letter from Kentucky, I was like, Kentucky, like what? Like that's honestly how I looked at it. I was like, what? And not really knowing too much of the program, and it was, it was a new coach there. That's who I worked with. The program grew, and I got there. I didn't compete. I had got to school January of 2015, and that year they got runner-up at nationals, and I'm like, well, Kentucky's like growing, but of course that squad was like mainly seniors. So from there, it was kind of like we had to like continue that, and next year brought in a national championship.
Give it up.
It was
no, because I mean, I know that you were proud to be a Kentucky Wildcat.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in the way you portray yourself and the way social media you projected your career in college, it seemed like you were a proud Wildcat.
Yeah, definitely. Like definitely. Like I don't regret anything, because that whole 4 years there, like literally like molded me into the person I am today. And I'm still growing, but that definitely, I was a teenager coming in, and I'm about to be 25 this year. So
congratulations. When is that month? When is your birthday?
August 21st.
August 21st. All right. Sounds good. So after the Olympic Games, let me ask you, how are your folks? You mentioned that your father, your mother, they're fantastic people. How are they doing, and how have they been through this process with you? I know the pandemic obviously put people away more than usually for families.
They're doing good. They're doing good. I mean, I'm not too far from home, like 5 hours. So like I did go see them even during like the pandemic and things like that. Cause I mean,
glad to hear.
Yeah, Olympics being canceled, I was like, I'm gonna just take advantage of the free time that I have.
There you go.
Yeah.
I guess you needed that too, Jasmine. Definitely. I appreciate the way you explained the sequence. Now let's move to little lighter subjects. How do you keep busy in your off time? A lot of people ask me, what does she do for music? What does she do for Netflix? What does she do for reading? Whatever it is. Because obviously people understand in Puerto Rico, because there's a sports culture, that athletes are very smart. They have a life completely away from the game or the competition, just to get them through each day. And they develop some routines that some people want to know, especially with music, with food, with movies. So what's happening behind the scenes when Jasmine is in her off time? How do you disconnect?
I'm always in bed.
Trying to recover from the training.
Yes, I'm always in bed. I'm always tired on my off days. Like I really don't want to do much, because I'm like, what if I use up too much energy and I'm tired the next day? And I mean, that's how I am today, because today's my off day, and I've been just like cleaning up and just laying in bed. I'm like, oh, it's nice out. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to go outside.
What about music or series? Any series on Netflix? Anything that gets you through time?
Yeah, I actually watch. Well, I've kind of like finished up everything. I'll be watching, All American.
No.
The show called, I want to say 911. There's another one. It's called The Rookie. It's really good.
I know The Rookie. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Watch that. I feel like I've watched every single thing on Netflix, but I'm waiting for like the next season of Dead to Me to come out, and the third season of You, and there's another one. I can't even think right now.
Do you listen to music when you train?
Yeah, if I have my headphones. Like if I have them with me, then I'll put some music on and more.
What's on? What's on the headphones?
I listen to all different type. It just depends on my mood that morning. So I'll listen to some, I don't know. It really just depends on my mood that morning.
Oh no, I understand that completely. But you are a general listener. R&B, jazz, pop, you name it. You throw it in, and if you like it and it's your mood, you'll go with it.
Yeah, basically.
Un resumen, a summary quick. Hablamos de varias cosas en esta última secuencia con Jasmine, agradeciendo siempre a sus papás que estuvieron con ella apoyándola. Nos comenta que la pandemia tuvo la oportunidad de verlo de vez en cuando porque está a 5 horas de distancia. Ella está en Orlando, de donde ellos están. También nos menciona, obviamente, cómo fue ese proceso de transición una vez terminada la universidad y que se siente orgullosa de su participación con la Universidad de Kentucky, que la exigencia fue alta, una beca completa, la termina con un campeonato nacional y con graduación. I was telling folks also, Jasmine, that when you made your commitment to Kentucky, it obviously turned out well, that part of your career, because it was tough for you, as you explained. You went through your tribulations, but the contract that you signed with a full ride, you got a major out of it, and you get a national championship out of it. I think some people will call that a success one day.
Yeah.
But they don't know what happened behind the scenes, and that's what you're trying to get at. Behind the scenes, it was another battle.
Yeah, it's always like a battle. Like I think, like for us athletes, like we only show the good side, because if we say anything, then you have those out there that say, "Oh, you're just complaining. Oh, you need to be grateful." And I really don't understand exactly what's going on here. And yeah, and when you're tired, because that's number one for me. Like I'm always just wanting to sleep. When you're tired and you're dealing with these things, I feel like it makes it even worse because you get angry. Like,
yeah, you snap out.
Yeah, basically. So,
well, let me get you in that same sense, Jasmine. What a beautiful pictures of you here.
Thank you.
Let me get you through that same line. What about nutrition? Is that important to you to control your mood? I know that athletes need to keep a very tight regimen, especially athletics. Mm-hmm. But what about nutrition? How do you deal with it? What do you eat? I mean, how does that work? Do you cook for yourself?
I try to like eat healthy, but like there's times when it's like, you know, growing up as a kid when mom says take the chicken out and you forget. I still do that. And so like it's like, oh, okay, I want to eat this, but I didn't take the chicken out this morning. Or like I didn't do this. So now I'm stuck. I'm like, all right, let me go.
So you have a conscience now at this point.
Yeah. So I'm not really like too strict with my nutrition and like my diet, just because when I start stressing about that's when I gain weight. And I'm like, you know what? Just don't eat too much. Don't eat too much of like these cakes and honey buns and stuff.
But you're burning it when you train.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't do like overdo it. I'm like, let me not do this. And
let me ask you, if you had your pleasure food, what is that? What does that plate look like? For me, it's a good churrasco skirt steak with some fettuccine Alfredo. That to me is heaven. Or arroz con habichuela, tostones with a bistec and Puerto Rican. So I could go either way. What is it for you?
I'm actually like I don't eat a lot of like bad things. Like I can literally eat like grilled chicken every day with like corn or broccoli and mashed potatoes. Like I honestly can eat that every day. You can season it to have it taste something different.
Did you get your upbringing with your mom with Puerto Rican food, or that was not part of the menu?
No, she didn't. Like we only really got that when we go to like Jersey to see like my Mima. Growing up, like we ate a lot of soul food. So like Southern like fried chicken and
Cajun.
No, not too much.
Not spicy?
No. I'm just trying to think because now, like thinking back, like we definitely did not eat healthy growing up. Like I'm just thinking of like all the fried stuff we had, like fried chicken, fried pork chop, like fried fish and grits. Like,
well, Puerto Rico's the same. That's why I asked you, because in that sense, the south of the United States and Puerto Rico share that in common.
Mm-hmm. It was but it was different for me though growing up because I was, you know, me being a gymnast, I didn't get out of practice till like 8 o'clock at night.
Whoa.
So like we'd eat, but it was like for me it was different. Like it was a lot different than, you know, a lot that I got to come home right after school and then do this and that. Like I was at the gym. And that was going on for 8 years of my life. So from ages 3 to 11. And then after that, I started with 7th grade. I actually didn't do any sports, took off because I like had a real bad injury from gymnastics. And 8th grade started volleyball and track. So, I mean, my time was still taken up when I did that.
You were always busy.
Always.
So that's what you really value. Now I understand. There you go. I appreciate your honesty, Jasmine, because now I can put the dots together. Because obviously your modus operandi or your routine when you're off is because you were so busy growing up that when you're off, you just want to not do anything.
Yeah, that I definitely like it. Like I'm like, you know, I've been doing sports for so long, so I definitely want a break.
Do you watch sports on TV or do you shy away from it? I know that your brother obviously is a professional, but
do I watch much TV?
I mean sports on TV like NBA, you know, none of that.
No, I haven't. You know, honestly, like I haven't really been watching much sports on TV.
So you're really focused, Jasmine. You're really like into your routine and your way you're living your life right now, trying to achieve your challenge.
Yeah, like I'm pretty simple. Like if I'm not even watching TV, then I'm gonna just be on my phone looking at stuff, looking up things on YouTube. Like, but or playing with my dogs because that's already like having kids.
Oh, tell us about your dogs. We haven't spoken to that on the air. You have a couple, right?
Yeah, I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 little ones. I've had one. He'll be 10 this.
So he's been with you for a while then. Huh?
Yeah, I've had him.
And he knows all the secrets.
That one right there. He's so clingy.
Is that Caleb?
Yes, Caleb. And then my other one, Roscoe, he's like, I don't even know how to explain that dog there. He's always just like hiding. Like he's like he is the lookout. Like hides under my dressers. And he's just looking. I'm like, what are you doing? We're in the room.
Both are male, right? Both are male.
Yes.
What's the name of the second?
Roscoe.
Roscoe and Caleb. I like this duo. If you can later on social media put some pictures of them, we will appreciate it for sure. Puerto Rico is a dog-loving country.
I will.
That's great. Before I move into Tokyo, let me summarize for people now. Jasmine nos habla un poquito de lo que pasa tras bastidores, ¿no? Su música, sus programas de televisión en Netflix, que dice que los ha visto todos y que está esperando por los más que le apasionan. En cuanto a la música, que es cuestión de cómo ella se sienta, el mood, cómo tenga ella su ánimo. Y en cuanto a la comida, que es un proceso que ella pero que ella reconoce que creciendo comía tal vez fuera de lo que un atleta de alto rendimiento debería, pero a la misma vez el metabolismo y el entrenamiento es lo que le da, y luego reconoce al final que muchas de las cosas que ella hace en su tiempo libre es por el cansancio que tiene de su entrenamiento, de su constante exigencia. Dos perritos, Caleb y Roscoe, que la acompañan. Caleb es el mayor con 10 años. Now, after explaining to people where you are right now, most want to know, how are you feeling about this next upcoming sequence? Obviously, the change of dates for the calendar for the Olympic Games had affected people in some ways, especially athletes who were already going. What are you right now? What are you doing in terms of your preparation? I mean, you look at the calendar; it's so close already. You want to think it, but it's less than 70 days. Tokyo Olympic Games. Where are you right now in that sense? Do you feel ready? Confident where you are right now?
Like I'm excited, honestly. It's
because you've been doing great. I mean, in terms of you got your competitions, the times that you're putting in, it's amazing. Even the experts say, well, this is legit. She's a serious contender. I know that you know that because you train hard, but I just want to know how you feel in terms of that.
I'm honestly like excited for the season. It's gonna be a long season.
When does it start? Is there something before the Olympics?
Yeah, we always have competitions and things like that. So like going overseas to travel and compete out there, like that's like preparation for. We have to get the races in, and so it's still things like being done. Like like for me, I hit the standard and I don't have to like deal with like a big trials, like how like US or like Jamaica has.
Yeah.
Like don't have to worry about that stress. So like
do you have friends in the US team that are going through that?
Oh yeah. But honestly, it's like best of luck to you.
Of course.
I mean, honestly, that's how it is. And
because I remember, I gotta say it to you, Jasmine. We spoke about this 4 years ago, but 5 years ago actually. But when you made your decision to compete for Puerto Rico, a lot of us said, "Well, she could have competed for the U.S. as much because she can be better than any of them." So she's really making a decision based on her feelings, on her personal choice, rather than decisions that have been made because maybe you don't have a chance in Team USA and you can compete for Puerto Rico. Yeah. That's what's happened before. But in your case, we always said, no, she can beat the U.S. team. So that's not the case. We always respected that. And it's good to know that you're always keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm like, it's, the thing for me, like when I did even make the decision to represent Puerto Rico, like if I knew that I could have done that in like high school, like I could have, like things would have been different, but I didn't even understand that whole process. Like I just ran high school track and that was it. I didn't do no, like summer track. I didn't do none of that. Like what a lot of people do, a lot of athletes, do. Like,
the year-round thing.
Yeah, I didn't do all of that. I just did high school. Like that's it. And after May, like season was done. So, if I knew then I would have done that. And then in 2016, like I declared. And I mean, everything happened so quick. They're like, "Oh, we need your mom's birth certificate and all this stuff." I'm like, "Here, like."
Was that through Mr. Jaime Lamboy at one point?
I believe it was. This was.
But it was through the Olympic Committee initially, right? And the federation.
I believe so. Everything happened so quick, so I don't even remember.
You were a very great surprise for all of us who were inside the Olympic Committee and covering because you're a high-level athlete coming in, and it was a surprise to us. But obviously, more so, it was a surprise the way that you accepted the responsibility of competing for Puerto Rico. Everybody just committed to you. Because of that, I want to thank you for that. But in some ways, now it's much different. Right now, you don't have to go through the jitters. Now you're just, you're part of it. You are us. You're part of us.
Yeah, that year was fun. I mean, I had because I didn't compete for Puerto Rico yet, like at the time, like I was, told I had to go to US trials to compete against like the other professionals and things like that, just to get like a sense to it, because it was like, oh, Olympics is gonna be like this. I'm like, I don't want to go, but that situation, like I stayed quiet about that too to protect people. but that definitely was not my decision. I'm like, this makes me look bad. Like, I don't want to go here. Like, I already said where I want to run, who I want to run for. So going to this trial is dumb. So honestly, like, and I went there and ran slow on purpose. And I did it for a reason. Because I was like, I didn't want to go there, but I was like, basically like, you know, it was just like, no, you need to go. I was like, all right, cool. Since I'm being forced to go, basically, I'm gonna run slow. And I did. I think I went like 12.9 and like 13.0. And I did that on purpose. I just won nationals there, so I was like, I'm familiar with like this stadium because I was just here 2 weeks ago. But I was like, no, like
yeah, I see what you're saying. Wow. Wow, Jasmine, I had no idea you went through that process. Ya me habló un poquito de su proceso cuando comenzó a competir en Puerto Rico y el hecho de que tuvo que entrar a competencias a nivel de los Estados Unidos, que ella no se sentía cómoda participando, pero tenía que hacerlo en algún momento para poder ganar tiempo que la clasificaran o que le permitieran la elegibilidad a nivel mundial con Puerto Rico por su tiempo, por su marca. But Jasmine, now this is much different. You seem like you're in control of your career.
Yeah.
It seems like obviously you have learned through the whole process because you have learned through the experience, through the mistakes. Is this the version of Jasmine that you wanted for yourself? Are you still in progress? Obviously, we all are, but do you think you still are in progress?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still growing. It's gotten better, you know, like with practice. It's like I go there and I train hard, and you know, like in college there'd be times I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, or I'm tired and I just miss the time. Like I'm not like too serious, but now like I'm like, no, every time you go out there, like do what you're supposed to do. And I did that. And but I'm still growing, and there's some things I still need to work on and be better with. Outside of like just training, like the practice thing, I need to do better with diet. I need to do better with like recovery and things like that. So, you know, like I can admit that, but that's still a process. I'm never like ice baths, but
it seems like you set your standard, so that always is going to make you try to achieve something different. In that sense, about standards, any expectations about Tokyo, any worries or concerns, or just ready to be there and do what you think you can do best? What is your mindset?
I'm not really like concerned about anything, honestly. Like I just want to get there safely, and you know, even though we're still like kind of like, well, not even kind of, but still in a pandemic. Like,
sure.
Definitely, you know, I believe the process is going to be handled to where like everyone's protected. But I'm honestly just ready. That's how I feel like, and I hate like the countdown too.
Yes, I bet you do.
Yeah,
I bet you do. My company NBC is responsible for a lot of that with the countdown. So we're sorry, but Jasmine, thank you for your honesty. Before we go, we're hitting the 43-minute mark almost. I always have a summary. I'm sorry Natalia couldn't be here with us today. She always has her own take on the interviews, but I always do a summary of what I gather. That's why you see me writing all the time. I didn't ask you about the best advice someone gave you, which is a question Natalia wanted me to ask you, because I feel that you gave yourself the best advice. But if there's any advice somebody gave you in these 4 years that stuck with you, is there one? Anything specific?
I've gotten so much advice. I think like for me, one thing that always sticks with me is quit acting regular. And basically it's like you need to believe in yourself. Like you need to have this confidence, and like that's something like I struggle with. I can do whatever on the track, and then like the next day I'm like can I do this again? Like, am I fast? I start like doubting
The self-doubt.
I start doing that, and it's, I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know, honestly. But that is something that always sticks, honestly, is that, like, quit acting regular. You need to basically believe in yourself. And I feel like that showed this year with training and everything. I pushed myself and I pushed myself and I pushed myself, and I didn't even expect to run this fast so early.
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, it shocked me because I was like, my first race, I was like 12:47. I was like, wait, is that correct? And I was like, that race was real controlled. Like, it was like a jog.
Because you react. There you go. That's a good explanation.
Yeah.
I see.
I was like,
you weren't really putting the whole turbo nitro on it yet.
No, that's the thing. And I like still had stuff to fix technically. So I was like, all right, this is crazy because I'm really just running off of strength right now. And my, like, technically, like my technique going over the hurdle isn't the best right now. I still have to like get back in the groove of that. But it shocked me. And then the next weekend, like, went 12:32. I was like, and I had to back off the hurdle. I like felt like I was about to run straight into the hurdle. So like if you watch the race, you could see me like
I saw it.
pause.
I saw it 12:32.
And I want to say it was like maybe hurdle 7 or 8, one of those, where I like kind of like
what you expressed?
I believe the process is going to be handled to where like everyone's protected. But I'm honestly just ready. That's how I feel like, and I hate like the countdown too.
Yes, I bet you do.
Yeah,
I bet you do. My company, NBC, is responsible for a lot of that with the countdown. So we're sorry. But Jasmine, thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Before we go, we're hitting the 43-minute mark almost. I always have a summary. I'm sorry, Natalia couldn't be here with us today. She always has her own take on the interviews, but I always do a summary of what I gather. That's why you see me writing all the time. I didn't ask you about the best advice someone gave you, which is a question Natalia wanted me to ask you, because I feel that you gave yourself the best advice. But if there's any advice somebody gave you in these 4 years that stuck with you, is there one? Anything specific?
I've gotten so much advice. I think like for me, one thing that always sticks with me is quit acting regular, and basically it's like you need to believe in yourself. Like you need to have this confidence, and like that's something like I struggle with. I can do whatever on the track, and then like the next day I'm like, can I do this again? Like, am I fast? I start like doubting
the self-doubt.
I start doing that, and it's, I don't know why. I don't know, honestly. But that is something that always sticks, honestly, is that like quit acting regular. You need to basically believe in yourself. And I feel like that showed this year with training and everything. I pushed myself and I pushed myself and I pushed myself, and I didn't even expect to run this fast so early.
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, it shocked me because I was like, my first race, I was like 12:47. I was like, wait, is that correct? And I was like, that race was real controlled. Like it was like a jog.
Because you react. There you go. That's a good explanation. I see.
I was like,
you weren't really putting the whole turbo nitro on it yet.
No, that's the thing. And I like still had stuff to fix technically. So I was like, all right, this is crazy because I'm really just running off of strength right now. And my like technically, like my technique going over the hurdle isn't the best right now. I still have to like get back in the groove of that. But it shocked me. And then the next weekend, like went 12:32. I was like, and I had to back off the hurdle. I like felt like I was about to run straight into the hurdle. So like if you watch the race, you could see me like
I saw it. Pause. I saw it 12:32.
And I want to say it was like maybe hurdle 7 or 8, one of those, where I like kind of like braked in a sense because I'm like, geez, that would have been 12:2. But I had to do what I had to do to like save myself. So it's just so crazy. And I train very hard, even though like there's like self-doubt there sometimes, but I still train hard, and I'm like, all right, now I'm proving myself. So I'm done. Yeah.
Let me summarize this real quick because people want to hear that. El 12:40, el 12:32, esas dos cifras, marcas recientes, son las que más orgullosa se siente Jasmine porque no las esperaba, pero sí reconoce que está en un buen momento física y mentalmente, y por eso es que ella se siente que está en el camino correcto de camino a Tokio. You feel in the right position. Now, before we go, Jasmine, my summary here. Por cierto, Jasmine va a cumplir 25 años. August, you mentioned, what was your birthday? August
21st.
21st, agosto 21, 25 years old. But my summary is this. We're, after listening to Jasmine, we have here a true natural competitor. And it's always an honor to hear someone in that sense talk, who is very honest. Too honest for herself, I guess, sometimes. But she's very honest. Mentally tough. But she didn't get there naturally or by luck. She got there by going through her valley, by admitting that she needed to settle down, that she needed to work on herself. That's how Jasmine got to be this mature person that we see to this day. At least that's my sense. She's a pro's pro. She doesn't need anyone to call her and wake her up. She knows what she has to do to deliver, and she wouldn't go to a competition without that sense of responsibility that I need to train properly to be at that level. Take care of yourself, she said. That's the advice that I think most of you probably will heed from a high-performance athlete saying that. It means a lot. She's fearless, but fearless, once again, doesn't mean that she's not afraid of everything. It means that when she's afraid, she admits it and she faces it. That's how Jasmine has gotten to this point. And her commitment to Puerto Rico, once again, I have to bring it into fruition and into conversation. It's a commitment that makes us all proud. Jasmine could have made many decisions in her life. She could have stopped running too. She could have finished her career. What she's doing is for herself. But in a lot of ways, Puerto Ricans feel that we're here with you in your process. Jasmine, don't ever feel like you're alone. I know that Puerto Ricans sometimes can be harsh. We're very direct. But in the end, we will value those that represent us. And you are our ambassador, and we wish you the best. Anything you want to add, Jasmine? By the way, say hi to your mom and dad. I know they will listen to this interview. I miss them so much since the last time we spoke. The love they have for you. I know they will go to the end of the world, to Japan, and then some to support you, although maybe this time, I know because of the pandemic, that may not be the case. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, anything you want to say to them and to our family in Puerto Rico, just go ahead. It's your floor.
I just want to say thank you to everybody supporting me. This journey was a little bumpy, but you know what we got here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to represent Puerto Rico again in 2021 Olympics in Tokyo. And to my family, I love y'all. Be safe and see y'all soon.
Jasmine, what an honor. Yo espero ustedes que tengan la oportunidad de ver esta entrevista más adelante, las que lo puedan ver repetida, de que la disfruten y escuchen muy bien lo que dice Jasmine. Listen to her words. Listen to her pauses too. Jasmine's pauses in her speech talk too, because they fill in a blank of what she has gone through to become a high-performance athlete and soon enough, God willing, a two-time Olympian at 24 years old. What a great thing. Jasmine, muchas gracias. Thank you. From New York City to Orlando, Florida, and to the millions of Puerto Ricans who watch us. Ahí está la red del Comité Olímpico, esta entrevista en Facebook, Instagram, Twitter y las redes de YouTube. Siga la red del Comité Olímpico, por supuesto. Estamos de camino a los Juegos Olímpicos. Este es el año de la Casa del Deporte, el Comité Olímpico de Puerto Rico y Telemundo Tokio 2020-2021 este año. Jasmine, please take care of yourself. We'll keep watching you and keeping your track.
Thank you.
Que descanse, muchacho.
Bye.
Yo quiero jugar segura.
Yo quiero entrenar segura.
Yo deseo entrenar